is always looking for voices. So if any of you out here are singers, see Nikki. No. Testing, 1, 2. Yeah. Let's try that again. Let's give the choir another hand. I get out of practice of what I'm supposed to do up here. If any of you are looking to sing or you have a love of singing, please join our choir. We're always looking for voices, any voices to sing, all right? And they have a blast on Wednesdays at rehearsal. I know that for a surety myself. Amen? Amen. Today is the second part of the sermon series that we are doing with our stewardship program, Covenant Keepers, one by one together. Today is witness. That makes it a perfect subject for Martin Luther King Jr. Sunday. Amen? Amen. About talking about what witness is about. I'm sure you have received these, you've seen these. Those of you here for the first time, this is your first time seeing those, but that's what these are. In our paper we have witness. Witness is demonstrating Christ's love to the world. We, all of us, are called to be a witness to that love. Those around us should experience Christ through our lives, through our actions, through our words. And as we share our Christian stories with others, they too will be able to connect with Christ or see the witness of Christ in our lives. Amen? Amen. Today we are going to talk about the story of Esther. How many of you took the class that Carla taught about Esther here? There should be a bunch of you. There's some experts out here of how to pronounce all those names in case anybody else wants to know what they are. It is not me. I find that the story of Esther is an interesting one. It's fascinating. It's one of the books of the Bible where God is not even mentioned one time in that whole book. Right? Check me if I'm right or wrong. Tell me. But the one thing that stands out in this story, and it's the famous statement of, "For such a time as this." For such a time as this. You heard read this morning about Esther finding out the plan from Haman to execute all of the Jews. And Mordecai asked Esther to do something that would surely take her life. As we heard that she could be killed if she went before the king when she was not invited. So Esther had a choice. She could risk her life and go before the king, or do nothing. Do absolutely nothing. Beloved, today as we live in our world today, we have choices. We have choices in our lives whether or not we are going to be who God has called us to be, and to be a witness, and to live out our lives as children of God by following God's commandments. Amen? Amen. We have been given that choice. What will we do with it? There are so many things happening in our world today that are just frightening. Amen? As Liz said, If you haven't gotten your tickets for Vicky Shaw for January 20th, that might be something good that you might want to do as opposed to watching TV at home. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else about that. It'll be a wonderful time. Now is that such a time as this. We have not been doing all of the hard work of growing spiritually, of walking by faith, by doing the hard work on our spiritual journeys, to sit by and not do anything. It is time for each of us to realize that the moment that we have been called for, the purpose in our lives, is now. Each of us have been given a purpose from God to do what we are called to do. That for such a time moment is now. It's not next week. It's not next year. It's now. It is time for us to live what we have been preaching and talking about right now. We don't know on a daily basis, beloved, if we will make it back home to our homes safely. There are things happening at an airport where you think you're going home and something happens. Things are happening all over the world, but also here at home. We are to live our lives, my beloved, as if it were our last. That's a harsh statement to hear, but it is the truth. If we are going to survive and thrive in what God is calling us to, time is now. We sang down by the riverside this morning, and we ain't gonna study war no more. I really wish that was true. Amen? Amen. I really would love to lay all that and not study war no more. What about you? What keeps me in that wonderful presence of thinking about not studying war is that God has left us with God's peace. God has left us with the joy of the Lord being our strength. That allows me to imagine a world where I don't have to study war no more, as it should say. I look around at each of you and I see hope. I look into your eyes, I look into your faces, I look into your spirits, and I see hope. Why? Because each of you are beloved children of God, whom God has created, and we celebrate you. I look at you and I say to you and to you and to you, for such a time as this, have you been called to be witnesses to God's love in your actions, in your words, and in your lives every single day. Now, is anybody going to force you to do that? Is anybody going to come up behind you and go, pitch, 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 pitch? I know some of us enjoy that, but see, God never forces us to do what God asks of us. It's our choice. I get tired, but I keep marching on. I keep living a life of witness to anyone that I meet, regardless if I agree with them, like them, love them, or not. Esther did something extraordinary in this story. She asked for her people to fast with her, and she also fasted to get through what she was about to do, because in her mind she may be facing her own death. When we begin to step out and witness, and to step out and live that life of Christ, the possibility that we could be facing our own death is a real possibility. And that's something that we ought to take into consideration when we think about being witnesses. Martin Luther King knew that. And others who followed in his legacy also knew that. Jesus Christ knew that. And as followers, we need to know that as well. Beloved, whatever you do it with the love of Christ. Do it as a witness to your faith in God. And do it like it's your last time that you get to do it. Because it might be. It very well might be. Amen.
Amen.